Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the CDL podcast. This isn't an official episode. As you know, we're kind of in a little weird stretch here of the CDL, but there are still a few things to talk about. First, I think you all know where I'm going to go with this. The support on the last podcast was absolutely insane. I can't thank you guys enough. I know I've said this a few times now because we've had some really good support on the episodes, but we almost tripled our sub count. I mean, we were at like 15 subs or something before that last video, and all of a sudden we're at like 50. Crazy. We like basically tripled it. The subs went up like crazy. I couldn't even believe it when I looked. I was at work the next day, and then I was like, let's check the little like studio app and see how the podcast was doing, and it just had shot up in views and the subs. It said like plus 30 subscribers in the last 12 hours, and I was like, what's going on? And it was awesome to see. I had like almost 40 likes or something on the video, which, I mean, that's like as many likes as all the rest of the podcasts have combined. We also had super good, my favorite part about it, comment interaction. I mean, we usually get like a couple comments and I have a conversation with some people on like the previous videos, but on this one we had like 10-12 comments, voicing opinions or showing support or giving me good suggestions for how to improve the videos. That one person, I can't remember your name, I'm sorry, I don't have it up right now, but you recommended the little like link for where you can fill out the bracket. I always was waiting for them to tweet it out. I didn't know there was actually like an official link they had like posted for all the events. So that was really awesome to see. So I'm going to try to do some experimenting and see if I can, in the prediction videos, get like a little area where I can make my predictions like on screen, so you guys can see me like ticking up the numbers and like actually seeing the bracket go through, because that'll probably give you guys a better experience. So I really appreciate that suggestion. And then we had some people offering their own hot takes. I saw some people like saying Dallas won't get out of groups and just some hot takes, and I loved interacting with that. You guys know I love that. I love to speak with you guys and new people. This is really what I'm doing this podcast for, just to have more people to talk, something I love, like competitive Call of Duty with. I mean, I know there's a large community out there, but I didn't really have a way to reach you guys before doing this podcast, and to see you guys enjoying the videos and telling me that you enjoyed them and subscribing to show that you enjoy them and dropping a like and commenting your hot takes to have some interaction. It really means a lot to me. It was really cool to be able to talk with you guys, and all the feedback was so positive, which was also really cool for me because that really motivates me to keep going and keep doing this. So yeah, thank you guys so much for that support. Once again, can't thank you enough. It was absolutely insane. I love to see it. This episode, like I said, isn't going to be an official episode since the Minnesota event was obviously delayed a week for good reason, with everything that's going on. So the podcasts are delayed by 1 week because obviously I can't do a post-Minnesota event podcast without the event actually having occurred. I can't talk about stuff that didn't happen. So I wanted to get this little mini update kind of video out to you guys, thanking you for the support on the last one, just so you know I'm not slacking on you and just disappearing on you after I got one good video support wise. But no, there's just no Minnesota event to talk about because it didn't actually happen this weekend. It's happening this coming weekend, coming up, starting this Friday. Everything's the same, just delayed a week. But yeah, I just want to get this mini update with some of the news out to you guys. So obviously, I don't want to leave you guys hanging with just like a thank you video and then out. So I'm going to give you a little bit of content. Can't go without that. The first thing, obviously, you all know, I know this is a little late on this, but I'm not like a news source as of right now. I'm not like Tactical Rab or those guys that actually get to the news super fast and have like inside information. I'm not one of those people. But I just wanted to offer my thoughts on a couple pieces of news. And the first one is obvious. You've all heard it. Karma retired. This came as a shock to me. I actually had just gotten done with work, working my summer job for the time, and I just started watching Breaking Bad. Finally, I never had watched that, and I was just kind of chilling in my room watching some Breaking Bad before I was about to go to bed. Then all of a sudden, went on Twitter and I saw Serge tweeted, "Karma retired," and I was like, "What? This is like some kind of joke?" But it's June, it's not April Fool's. I'm like, well, this has got to be some kind of joke. I know like he hasn't enjoyed this game, they've been struggling, but like Karma, come on, it's like. Seems like he'd never go away. 3 rings. I mean, everybody calls him the GOAT. Even if he's not maybe your GOAT, he's up there as one of the greatest of all time. There's no arguing that. 3 for 6 on champs rings when he's there. But I was shocked. I saw it and I was like, I mean, I guess that makes sense. If he hates this game, doesn't really like playing with his team, they're not having success, I can see. I mean, he's getting a little older. Obviously, he's like in his 20s. He's not that old. But in terms of Call of Duty standards, he's one of the older players out there. So it was just a shock to me. It's kind of sad for the community. Obviously, I mean, when you think of dynasties in Call of Duty, there's really like 2 dynasties. Some people like to say like Frico Impact is the 3rd dynasty. So whether you say there's 2 or 3 dynasties, if you consider Frico Impact a dynasty, Karma's been on all 3. He was the Complexity EG dynasty. He was on that. He was obviously on the Optic dynasty for the entire duration. And then the Frico Impact, if you want to call it a dynasty, I'm not really sure if I call it a dynasty or not, but if anybody has a 3rd dynasty, it's that one. And he was also on that team, and he was the best player on that team. You can make an argument he was even the best player on Complexity at times and EG. That one's a little more iffy. I mean, you can definitely make the argument that Hecz, Crim6, Clay, they were all the best players on that team at some point, TP. Optic Dynasty, you really can't make the argument he was ever really better than Scump or Formal, but he was obviously a crucial piece of it. I mean, you saw it fall apart after he left. He was a crucial piece of that dynasty. So I'm really sad to see him retire. And he did say, I won't be back, which is kind of sad. I mean, I'm never going to rule it out. I'm not going to say like, I think maybe the frustrations of how bad they are, the frustrations of how bad this game is, in his opinion, kind of just deter him away and thinking like, I'll never come back. And I'm not going to rule it out because I think he still has the ability to play if he's motivated and with the right group of guys, the right team. So I'm not going to rule him out coming back. I obviously think with him saying he's not coming back, there's a pretty good chance he doesn't, but it's not completely out of the question. If he doesn't come back, he had a fantastic career. I have nothing but respect for him. I've always loved him as a player. I think that he was an absolute superstar of a player in like the BO2 kind of Ghost era. And then when he came out of the Optic Dynasty, he had players that like to run around and slay like Scump, Formal, and Crim. And he accepted a diminished role. He kind of stepped back from being like a main slayer like he always had been and took more of a slide-in first OBJ role when people like Scump, Formal, and Crim really didn't want to do that. He took it on. So great respect for him as a player. He's one of those rare all-time greats that you see in sports. I know Vince Carter isn't really an all-time great, but he's kind of somebody, if you guys watch basketball, that reminds me. I mean, he's not on Karma's level in terms of his sport. Karma's like arguably the greatest of all time. Vince isn't in that conversation, but Vince was like a superstar who early on in his career decided, you know what, I can't be the best player, so I'm going to take a bench role, and he had a lot of success. That's why he played into the league till he's currently 42. Because Karma was obviously not taking a bench role, but he took a diminished role when he still could have probably been a superstar. He took a diminished role and decided, you know what, I'm going to do what's best for the team so that way we can win instead of me just putting up great stats. So I'll always respect him for that. In terms of the Surge's stance on this, I think it actually could be good for them in the short term. Obviously, losing Karma for your franchise is probably not a good thing, but to me, I don't think they can really get much worse. They were so bad, the only team they could beat was the Gorillas. And if Karma, I heard on the Codcast with Octane, I mean, Karma wasn't showing up for practice. He just really didn't care. Since like the first month of the game, he didn't try and practice. And that's not a knock on Karma. He just, I think it was his time to retire, and he just maybe dragged it out a little bit. So I think in the short term, this actually could be good for the Surge because they really can't get any worse. Now they enter in a player like Proto in for Karma. Proto is actually like a true sub where Karma wanted to run the AR/flex. Proto's an aggressive true sub. He's obviously no Karma skill-wise and all that, but he could be better than Karma at this game because he's been playing it. He's motivated to prove that he deserves a spot in the Pro League where Karma, obviously everybody knows he deserves a spot. And Proto, he's trying to prove that, you know what, I need a spot next year or maybe for the rest of this year. And he fits their team more naturally with a role. So maybe in the short term, they could actually get a little better with this. Karma didn't want to play the game, which is probably why he was worse. Proto is really motivated, fits the team as a sub. Yeah, maybe he'll fill in and make the Surge a little better. I don't think he all of a sudden makes the Surge like a super contender, but Octane's been on point. You know, Slacked and Apathy are good around champs time, and especially Apathy, they get good towards the end of the year. Pander was an all right player for them, and if Proto helps fill the role, hey, maybe they'll get a little better and make their way into like that top 6, 7, 8 discussion instead of being like a 10, 11 team. It's not like a make them a number one team, but they could get better. So now that we went over that little Karma section there and the Surge, quickly before this video gets too long, I just want to touch on the COD Twitter drama that's been going on lately as our last piece of news. Some people hate it and they're like, this isn't professional. Like, why are all these people getting so triggered on Twitter and talking trash to each other in COD? Personally, I love it. Content. That's what this is. This is just like the old days, the BO2 and Ghost days when everybody was just talking mad trash on Twitter and just going at each other's necks. And like like I said, most of them know it's all kind of jokes and just banter and stuff. Some people take it a little too sensitive, a little too serious. I mean, if I was a pro and people were kind of talking slander on my name, I think I would maybe get a little tight and might take it a little too serious, just kind of knowing my personality. But you got to kind of know sometimes it's banter. Like with the whole methods versus rocker and like the temp versus slacked. Twitter's just been awesome. Everybody versus Doug seems to be a common trend too. Parasite versus Doug. I think this is just awesome content because when COD Twitter has drama, they're getting a lot of impressions, getting a lot of likes, gaining more follows, more eyes, and unless it's something like absolutely horrible where this is just banter and entertaining, unless it's something absolutely horrible that shouldn't be said, it's kind of fun to get some eyes on COD and kind of stir up some storylines and get some entertainment going because especially with no LAN and like no open tournaments this year, it's like you kind of need something to keep the entertainment value up, and some kind of COD banter on Twitter is a great way to do that. So that COD drama, I like to keep it going as long as it doesn't go too far. I think it's awesome. You get some content, fans are entertained, and kind of create storylines, which is something like Maven always talked about. Maven, Mr. X, and Courage back in the day always talked about storylines. I think it's more fun to watch Call of Duty when there are storylines and rivalries created from these Twitter dramas. But that's going to be about it for this very short update video. Like I said, it's not an actual podcast. This isn't episode 11. This isn't like a post-Minnesota episode. Just an update video kind of saying like, the event was delayed a week. Touch on a little bit of news to not leave you guys without any content. And then the new podcast episodes will be up. There'll be a new post-Minnesota episode coming up after the event that happens this weekend. So I'd expect that about like a week from today, like Monday or Tuesday. When I get some time to do that. And then usually that Monday or Tuesday, because the new event will be the next weekend now. We have back-to-back weekends with events. Usually that pre-prediction show would be up on Monday or Tuesday. That will probably be delayed since I'll probably be recording and uploading the post-Minnesota on Monday or Tuesday. And then I'd say like Wednesday or Thursday, I'll be recording the I can't remember what city it is for that event, but the pre-whatever prediction for that event. So those will kind of come within like 2 days of each other. So there'll be a lot of content next week. I'll have to really grind that out because of the back-to-back event weekends. The Spotify update, I'm still working on Spotify. I'm really having issues with the whole RSS feed thing. I'm not really familiar with this. I can't really find a great way to do so. So if anybody has any suggestions on how to do that, if you'd like to listen on Spotify, that'd be great. But I kind of like doing this on YouTube, kind of doing the video format and kind of like filling things out. I don't know. I know the YouTube game better. So I feel like I'm a little more confident in uploading things here. But if anybody has any suggestions on how to get that RSS feed and stuff and how to upload podcasts to Spotify, maybe if you've done so yourself or know how to do it well, that'd be great if you could help me with that. But yeah, look out next week for the post Minnesota and then the pre-prediction show for the next event. Those should be out about a week from today, like Tuesday, Wednesday time. But yeah, thank you guys all for the support on the last one. Like I said, thank you for watching this quick little update and little news video. Should have some more videos out next week. I hope you guys enjoy the Minnesota event coming up this weekend. I know it was delayed a week, obviously for good reasons, but I was looking forward to watching Call of Duty that weekend since I had a pretty free weekend. So it kind of sucked that it was delayed, but I understand it. I understand why it was done. So I'm really looking forward to watching it this weekend. Hopefully we get another entertaining weekend like we all thought it would in the last comment video. So comment down below your thoughts on the whole karma situation, COD Twitter drama, any suggestions you have for how to get the podcast onto Spotify, just any thoughts you have, any other hot takes maybe for the week, if you think the karma retirement and what you think about it, comment something down below. We can have a discussion. So once again, thank you for the support on this kind of non-official news update video for the CDL podcast, and I will see you guys next week for the post episode and the pre-show. Thank you guys for watching.